girl in my name, sweat. Hey, pretty boy sweat. Pretty boy sweat. Pretty boy sweat. Girl on my dick when I'm pretty boy sweat. Hey, hey, shit! This is my shit! Get out the way!
Gotcha! You were talking all that shit last week. Now look at you paying respect to Big Draco. Gotcha, bitch!
I think that 50% of stereotypes are true. For example, in my case, I love fried chicken. Mm-hmm. Okay, I could eat fried chicken all day. Mm-hmm. But I'm allergic to watermelon. 50%. That's 1 out of 2. It's 50%. It is though. It is. I'm right. You know I'm right. Come on.
Well, I mean, I do like fried chicken.
Yes.
But I absolutely hate watermelon. I absolutely hate watermelon.
50% of stereotypes are true. We're proving it right here. Come on. All right.
Check this out. So I love going swimming.
Okay.
I love swimming.
Okay.
But I don't know how to dance.
Oh, that's 50%. That, again, 2 options, 50%. In my case, I do know how to dance somewhat tepidly, but I do know how to dance.
Uh-huh.
But I hate swimming. I hate water. I just, no. Like, no. That's 50% right there. I'll be honest, that's literally 50%. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Culture Clowns episode 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 for those of you who speak Espanol.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we want to thank everybody that's been tuning in with us these last 6 weeks. It's been amazing. We've been loving your feedback.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing growth on the channel, more subscribers, more people commenting, and we really appreciate the love.
And by the way, if you don't know and you're new to the show, welcome to the Culture Clowns podcast. I'm Jay Stay Saucy.
And I am HMT, a.k.a. M. Kennedy Simbai.
And we are your Culture Clowns, a.k.a. the moderators of modern culture.
Yes, sir.
This is a podcast basically where me and him, we go through modern culture and hit news. And we're not news chasers. We're more so news observers.
Yes, we are news bringers.
And basically what we do is we just have a conversation about hot topics and things that are going on in culture, whether it be your culture, your mama's culture, your daddy's culture, your grandma's culture. We love culture.
We love culture. And because of globalization, we realize that as the years go by, the world is really moving into one culture. And so what we find is that we're drawing on so many different things, so many different places, so many different people. And I think that's what really makes this platform and this specific podcast the best. So we hope that you'll continue tuning in.
Most definitely. And also, we really love the fan engagement. Please log in. Go follow us on Clowns of Culture ING. Link down here. To really link in with us. Twitter coming soon. We're gonna get a Twitter account. Should we get a Twitter account? Should we go there?
Yeah, I think we should get a Twitter account. 1, I do love birds. And 2, I do love random people screaming racial epithets at me from the comment section on Twitter. It's fantastic. So I think we should get a Twitter account, maybe even a TikTok.
You know what? I was thinking about doing a TikTok.
Yeah, right?
Fucking TikTok. I
know you guys love TikTok.
So Twitter and TikTok coming to you soon.
Yes, and you can find me on Instagram at PROD_BY_H_M_T.
My nigga, you got it this week.
Come on, you know
got it this week.
I got it.
And you can find me on Instagram at JStaySaucy. That is JAYSSTA. Oh shit. YSSAUCE. Jay Stay Saucy. If I fucked it up, too bad. It's right here. Fucking talking about you, god damn it.
Oh man.
You know they didn't teach niggas how to spell in school.
They really did not. They let us down drastically.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today we got like a bunch of hot topics today.
Mm-hmm.
But first and foremost, what I want to do, if you've seen last week's show,
Mm-hmm.
you know my hot take on a recent event
Mm-hmm.
that happened this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very, very hot take on that event, and I felt very passionately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just want to come here and rectify my mistake and wrongdoing.
You were wrong.
And I want to issue an apology to a young man.
Okay.
He legit is what he say he is.
Yeah.
Without him,
Mm-hmm.
there would be no culture as it is today.
Big Draco. You gotta give it up to Big Draco. Come on. Did y'all see him going into that versus? They wouldn't let his homies through, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not coming in. I'm not doing this versus unless the homies are coming with me." He's the culture.
No,
He's the culture.
you know what? All jokes aside, I have to give it up. Hands down, that was by far the best verses I've seen out of all of them, and I watched all of them. That was the most entertaining hit for hit verses that I've watched. And I have to give it up to Soulja Boy. Man, when I say this man has slappers, bruh. So I watched it at work, and then I watched it again at home. And both times I'm in there, hopped up out the bed, pretty boy swag, hey. And then when he pulled out the Nicki Minaj and Drake verses damn, what's the song I forgot the song. But anyway, I was thoroughly entertained. And it was at moments where I was like, damn, he's beating Bow Wow right now.
No, he really.
Like, I'm not even saying, I feel like last week, it was points in that verses that I was like, damn, where the fuck you at, Bow Wow? Like, he made him look, and he was entertaining, bruh. That's the best thing about it.
No, he was, man. Stage presence, he's really got that. Like I was telling you, I didn't watch the entirety of it, but I did watch enough clips and hear from enough people to know that Soulja Boy pretty much carried that verses because of his energy.
Okay, I won't say he carried it. I won't say they both had hits and they both were entertaining going back and forth. Like Bow Wow did this thing where he pulled up Soulja Boy's rant. Yeah. And he was going back into it, and then he went into bounce. That was hilarious as shit, because he was like, "Yeah, you don't know me. I didn't go to private school. I went to public school.
Yeah, I went to public school."
And then so he was going off all the shit that he did, and like how he got kicked out of all these schools. And Bow Wow was like, "Why you so mad?" That shit was hilarious,
bro.
Oh man.
Oh, Big Draco, come on, give it up for him. You got it.
But yeah, man, I definitely, I had a friend. As he was watching it. Hey, you know who you are if you're watching it right now.
Yes.
Shout out to you. He had a quote that it was so fucking hilarious. It was like, man, watching this and then watching your podcast. Your podcast is your take on Bow Wow. I mean, Soulja Boy is aging like an old white woman. This man said, your take on Soulja Boy is aging like an old white woman. And I literally died.
Oh, man.
I was driving.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jatoris Combs is not immovable. He can have epiphanies. He can have realizations of the truth. Okay? And that's exactly what we want to see. Enlightenment. He has become enlightened.
That's what this show is about, though. Enlightenment.
Yes, sir.
Having conversations. Like, all honesty, that's what this podcast is about. It's about having great conversations with one another and then with guests and having honest conversation. Like, we don't judge anybody on their opinions. We just have a conversation about it, and then we may agree, may disagree, but at the end of the day, it's about having conversations. And that's really what I like about this podcast. So in that, we got an interesting conversation coming up right now, actually.
Yes, sir, Ski.
So, in recent news, Bill Cosby has just been released.
Yes.
Opinions.
Dr. Huxtable is free. He is free. Okay, so I guess, not even I guess. Look, the thing is, Bill Cosby, at least to me, based on all the evidence, number of women who've come out against him, the fact that he basically admitted in his depositions that he did drug women, the man's guilty, okay, and he was found guilty, and he was sentenced to 10 years, of which I think he only served like 2 and a bit, just under 3 years. And for those who don't know, the reason why he's been released is on a technicality.
Because they fucked up.
Because the prosecutors fucked up. In fact, I believe the person who prosecuted him was Bruce Castor, who was Trump's impeachment manager. I think was it the second impeachment or the first impeachment? I'm not too sure, but he was Trump's impeachment. So like, it's a crazy thing to think that someone who honestly is guilty and should have still been in jail is out, not because they were like, oh no, we actually messed up and that you're actually innocent. No, it was just the prosecutors messed up. They submitted evidence that was supposed to be sealed, and so they weren't actually supposed to use it, and they did. And either they knew that what they were doing, or they didn't. Either way, it's illegal. And I just think, regardless of how you feel about Bill Cosby, this is still a nation of laws. The courts still work a certain way,
right?
And so they had to free him. They had to. I think it's very interesting seeing the different reactions from people. I've seen people saying, "Oh yeah, he was released with black privilege, whatever," and I tell people, "No, there's no black privilege. He was."
I take that. I think it is.
I think it's wealth.
I think it's a good thing.
I think it's wealth. I don't think it's him being black. I think it's wealth.
I'm saying the black privilege thing, but it's a whole nother thing that.
Yeah.
One of the people like Charlemagne the God has this thing called black privilege, which is it's not a bad thing. It's like not a negative knock, but it's like recognizing that you're recognizing your blackness. But yeah, continue on what you're saying.
And I definitely think that there's obviously a lot of black people who grew up with Bill Cosby as being the foundation of a lot of black homes. Bill Cosby in a lot of ways was more of a father to a lot of black people out there than their actual fathers, and that's just truth. One could even say the same thing about Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? And so you've got to understand that people, of course, have this attachment to Bill Cosby, but I also think that we as black people, we shouldn't be making excuses for deviant behavior and for behavior that is just wrong and illegal by saying, oh, they're trying to bring down this powerful black man, so and so and so and so. If the person has committed these crimes, then they should go to jail. So that's just those are my thoughts on it. I feel like a lot of people are trying to cover for him, and especially a lot of people in the community, and I don't think we should condone that stuff. Because I don't even want to say, imagine if it was your daughter who he did this to, because that's not the point. It shouldn't even have to be your family member, right? It just should be how would you want other people in this world to be treated, the same way that you would likely want to be treated, right? So, yeah, it's really crazy because the news came out of nowhere. And it's going to be very interesting to see where things go from here. But your take on it, Jay?
I do feel like what you're saying is all valid. Like, for me, as with most things in my life, I don't know. I genuinely don't have an opinion on it because of the fact that, yeah, you like to see, a black man finally beat the system. Just like the whole thing with OJ, even though I don't care what nobody say. You even if he didn't do it, that motherfucker had something to do. He ain't innocent.
He's not innocent.
Okay, cool. He was found not guilty. But even if that motherfucker didn't do it, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cuss anymore. I'm not gonna say anymore, but I am trying to lower my cussing rate. As I noticed that YouTube haven't flagged us yet. Yeah. But
thank you, YouTube. That we appreciate that.
But no, I do feel like in these instances, right? Yeah, you cheering for them because it statute of limitations and all that, and I get all that people are saying that. Yeah, why would they come back now? And it's 50, 20, whatever years later, and all that. But at the same time, I also think this, right? The man is in it. He's getting let go not because he didn't do it, but because our justice system is fucked up. In the sense that they fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not that he didn't. It's not that he's innocent.
Exactly.
He did do it.
He did it.
But he's getting off. And so for me, I think I think it goes in a whole, it goes in a whole slap of the face of this whole Me Too movement thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do feel like with all things, has its good and its bad. And let me clarify on why I say this.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like you get all these people now that want attention that come forward and say, yeah, they cry, these wolves and all this.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's the case for everybody. I do believe you should thoroughly believe the victim
Mm-hmm.
firsthand and
Mm-hmm.
then investigate.
Exactly.
Like I do. Like with the whole thing with Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like it's kind of awkward
Mm-hmm.
and kind of odd. Like, this is my great example.
Yeah.
I find it odd that this comes out now with Deshaun Watson. This whole thing with Deshaun Watson comes out now
Mm-hmm.
that he's talking about he wants to leave and he's trying to force a power play like James Harden did.
Mm-hmm.
And then now all these people coming up and out of the woodwork saying he did this massage therapist, he sexually assaulted me.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is this. I don't want to get to a place where women and victims, women, men, whoever,
Mm-hmm.
feel like they can't come forward with their truth and speak their truth.
And I fully agree with what he just said. Yeah.
But I also know that we live in a very opportunistic country where people will do stuff to, ruin people's reputation.
Yeah. Innocent until proven guilty is
Right.
still a thing.
And I
Yeah.
feel like the problem now is social media and all this culture cancellation stuff.
Mhm.
We're so quick to judge and then pass our own social judgment on things before we actually hear things out, and we already say somebody's guilty.
Mhm.
And I say all this to say this, right? I don't want, if Bill Cosby, I would love to see Bill Cosby got out because he's innocent
Mhm.
and not because the justice system fucked up.
Exactly. I feel exactly the same way.
And so,
Mm.
to all the victims out there, I want to say
Mm.
my condolences to you. I know that y'all are hurting, and I know that it's hard to come forward and speak your truth. I know, like, how hard that is and how traumatizing it can be. But like I said, I don't know. I genuinely don't have an opinion on it. I have an opinion on it, and my opinion is this. If he's wrong,
Mhm.
he should be in jail.
Mhm.
TV dad or not.
Yes.
Yeah, because of him.
Whether he was gonna buy NBC because there's that whole theory, or he was gonna
I
buy
don't
out
care.
the entirety of NBC, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
My thing is this: if he did, like, ain't not a matter of if or when, but if it really is that he did this, right,
Mhm.
and he did all these things,
Mhm.
I don't care that because of him, all the national black college rate went up.
Mhm.
I don't care that he was America's dad.
Mhm.
You can't do something fucked up. You can't do something so heinous
Mhm.
repeatedly.
So heinous.
And
So
then,
heinous, man.
and then show no remorse for it,
Yeah.
just to say, okay, cool, but he's America's dad.
Mm-hmm.
No, America's dad is drugging people.
Yeah,
That's
and
fucked up.
drugging and raping them. Like, that's not something that people should be supporting. And in terms of the black community, I want to ask you: do you think that black people really need to reassess the way in which we view black celebrities and black people who we hold up in high regard, especially if they've done something wrong? Because, I mean, for example, the O.J. Simpson case. Look, O.J. killed her and he killed the boyfriend. Like, let's just be very honest about this. He just had a crackerjack team consisting of Johnny Cochran, F. Lee Bailey, Robert Kardashian, so on and so forth, whoever else was involved.
I also blame him for the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Fuck O.J.
And that's another conversation we'll
Fuck
get
him.
around to. But seriously,
if you like the Kardashians, more power to you. But
I
I blame OJ for the Kardashians.
And I'm reluctant to say it started there because obviously black people have been persecuted in the United States for a very long time. And so when there is an unfair judgment or black people are unfairly sent to jail for a gram of weed, they're sent to jail for 10, 15 years, whatever it is, of course we want the person to beat the case. We've always wanted the person to beat the case. No, free my guy, free my dude, free my nigga boo-boo, so on and so forth.
And that's
right?
the thing, right?
Yeah.
Free my homie Boo Wop.
Free my homie Boo Wop.
But Boo Wop shot up that whole school of kids. Nah, okay, black people don't shoot up schools of kids.
But niggas are shooting in the streets and killing like 6-year-old girls.
Okay.
Though. Like that is happening in
Okay,
Chicago.
but okay, better example. Boo Wop shot the whole fucking block up.
You feel me?
He killed, bruh, fam,
dude. Come on, guys.
free him.
We can do better.
He raped and killed a bitch.
We can do better, guys.
She lied. Come on, fam.
Come on,
Fam.
Come on.
You were literally telling me how. Oh man, he flipped his man, bro. Come on. But now, like, here's my thing, right? I cheer for my people and I cheer for us to be great.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also realize we can't be like, and I'm gonna take it from outside of just being black, right?
Mm-hmm.
In America, I do feel like we idolize celebrity. We put them on a pedestal and we make celebrities God.
Yes.
And we think whatever these celebrities do, they are supposed to be the gods to us.
Mm-hmm.
Is it justifiable? Is it not? I'm not. That's another argument for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But I do realize this, right? With being a celebrity comes also this, you have to be this responsibility.
Yeah.
I know celebrities don't ask to be people's heroes and ask to be these things, but when you become this idol and these things, you become people's idols. So there's a certain level of responsibility that comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like we put too much on celebrities to be these perfect little beings? Mm-hmm. Yes. They're supposed to, we think them to be, celebrity is supposed to be a god to us and supposed to represent our culture and represent us.
That is very true. That's very true.
That's no black thing. That's a whole cross the thing, right?
Exactly. It doesn't matter what country you're in. It's
celebrities are
the same
supposed to be the gods of people, right?
Yeah.
The cream of the crop and all,
mm-hmm.
but they're also flawed. They're also just humans,
mm-hmm. in many ways,
and so they're flawed,
mm-hmm.
just like us day-to-day lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the one hand, I do think yes, we do put too much, not just the black people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna put that all on black people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing. Like you go even to ancient cultures, you mythize people based on what they accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they're supposed to be celebrity is supposed to represent the best of us or the worst of us in whatever
mm-hmm.
case. But you mythize these people and you forget that they're actually humans.
Yeah,
they're not gods. Celebrities aren't gods. But we forget that because it's like, oh, that's my idol.
mm-hmm.
It's your idol, but your idol is just a human. Your idol is just a mortal man.
I mean, Bill Cosby, was out here telling, black people, black men, pull your pants up, look more respectable, this, that. Meanwhile, he was doing all this other shit.
Right.
I genuinely think it's important for people, especially in the United States. And there's a political scientist, a sociologist, very famous one right now, named Chris Hedges, and he basically talks about how America is in many ways in decline because of that attitude, because of the celebrity worship, how we are seeing ourselves in the celebrities and how that's being pushed so much to us, so much so that we're now warping reality. We're no longer sticking to reality and remembering these are just ordinary human beings who are in their positions because of whatever talents they may have. It doesn't make them godly, it just makes them talented.
Right.
And so we need to remember that. It's a very good point. And I think that, going forward, people have to be very careful, man. Don't venerate these people. Don't worship them as idols. Appreciate the work they do. Appreciate the work that director or that screenwriter or that actor or that athlete, whoever it may be, puts in. That's good. But don't, and I'm not religious, but don't see them as a god. Don't venerate them in the same way. Don't make excuses for them if they do things that are wrong. Yeah.
And yeah, like I once heard a quote. I forgot who it was. That's told me this or whatever. But basically is, in life, you never want to get too high or get too low on another person. Because I hate this. It may sound kind of, what's the damn word? when you think of negative or something.
Pessimistic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it may sound pessimistic, right? But honestly, you really have to take life as it comes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You have DMX. That's who it was. DMX said, "Never." He doesn't. DMX said he doesn't trust people. He doesn't get mad or angry with people because he always trusts them to be them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's deep as fuck.
It is.
It basically what he's basically like how like to say basically what he's saying is this. I'm not gonna get too caught up in the glitz and glamour or whatever you try to put on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna always trust another man to be another man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna always trust another person to be human.
R.I.P. DMX. I think that's a very powerful and important quote.
Flawed as they may be, like you have to always
Yeah.
know that people are flawed and people are gonna fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And as pessimistic as it sounds, I really do feel like it's. I never put too much faith or trust in people, and honestly, it really just is what it is. My dad has this saying, right? It's everybody's bullshitting everybody's lying. Politicians, preachers, lawyers, doctors, everybody's lying. Everybody's lying. Shout out to my dad, right? Everybody's lying.
Shout out Papa Combs, legend.
Everybody's lying, right? And everybody's bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get out bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever you do not get out bullshit. Everybody's bullshitting somebody. Just don't get caught up in the bullshit and don't get out bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to out bullshit the bullshit.
And I feel like it's folks in the older generation. I mean, we're gonna get into this, but I feel like it's folks in the older generation who definitely understood that the most.
Right.
For sure, because they looked at things from a straightforward point of view. Right. You know what I mean? And they're still very brutally honest. That's why old folks are generally still very brutally honest.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if when we get older, we're going to be as brutally honest as, maybe we will as the clowns of culture, you and I, but I don't.
We tell it like it is.
Because we tell, because we do. We tell it like it is. But I don't know if other people in this generation, because of the way things are going about how we're generally making things soft. Don't say this. Don't, don't, don't.
Right. But here's the thing. I also agree. Here's the thing right there, right? Because I feel like this whole patriarchy, this whole white male culture has been so toxic for so long that now everybody is like, okay, enough is enough. All the groups that have been marginalized, abused, and whatever are coming up and saying enough is enough. And that's the problem I feel like that's why we're so sensitive today, because everybody has been so marginalized and so brutalized by this whole white male patriarchy that now everybody's like, okay, enough is enough of this bullshit.
Yeah.
And so we're sensitive to these things now because we're at a time now where we're trying to flip the tables, but we don't know how. We don't know. We're still in the feeling out phase of, okay, what's right, what's wrong, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take some smoothing out. But yeah, we're just in a time right now where we really have to figure out, how do we move forward with respecting everybody and not being an asshole. And that's what I love about this new movement is let's be respectful of everybody and everybody. I love that.
Especially if you occupy positions of power.
Right.
Like Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, like the list is endless of people in this industry who've been doing things. And I mean, obviously there's other examples I could use from other from other industries, whether it's people in business who are defrauding people and doing stuff like that. Generally, we hold these people up, like, on a very high pedestal. Oh, but dude's a billionaire hedge fund manager. Hell yeah, I want to be like him, dude. He's got yachts, he's got houses, but he could be defrauding people. You don't know. I mean, when it comes out, he does. Oh, there you go. So definitely, we need to, like you're saying, we need to understand that obviously all the things that have been happening have been part of this system, right, and have been generally structural. Now we're in this position where we have to be focused and concise about what it is that we need to do in order to, like, protect people benefit everyone, move forward, and ensure that people in positions of power don't abuse other people. Definitely.
All right. So you brought this up earlier, right?
Mm.
And it's like about the generations.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go ahead and move on to that.
Mm-hmm.
But before we move on to that,
Yes, sir.
you know how we like to do this.
Yes,
And I want to start this off with our staple. Question of the day. If for all y'all that don't know and who are new to the show, the question of the day is an opportunity for you to tune in and link in with us and state your opinion on this topic that we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And so we love the comments. We're doing our best to very respond to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You may see if you go down on any of the videos, we comment on every comment and then give our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Been a lot of great comments and feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely link in, comment below,
Mm-hmm.
or go to our IG page and definitely comment. Help. We want your input because we really want to hear what y'all have to say. And like I said, this is the podcast where all voices can be heard and all opinions can be expressed.
100%.
And so the question of the day is this: do you feel that because of the generation divides, right, and different cultures of each, the question of the day is this: do you feel that this generation has it easier or harder than past generations?
It's a big question, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big question.
Question of the day: do you feel that this generation has it easier or harder than other generations?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Em? What you think?
I definitely think our generation has it easier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go on to explain why, of course. I think, and I guess maybe this is just coming from my experience as a black man, as a black male growing up in South Africa, the son of Zimbabwean immigrants, both of whom were born in the 60s in Zim. We definitely have things a lot easier. Older generations of black people will tell you that, first of all, very few occupations were available to them. Mm-hmm. Especially on the African continent, generally it was like, okay, if you were educated, then you could be like a nurse and a teacher at best. That's it.
So who the fuck were y'all doctors?
Very unlikely you were going to be a black lawyer or a black doctor, because at one point those things were not available to you, and then when they did become, it was like, okay, the state would only allow a few black lawyers or a few black doctors, and you would still, the state would, monitor you and be like, okay, cool. Maybe if you were a lawyer, you would work for the prosecutors, for the state, maybe because they're like, okay, cool, he has a black lawyer, so if we have black defendants, then we can give them the black lawyer or whatever. But the point being that these weren't occupations that they were readily willing to allow black people to occupy. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing. Job prospects just out the window. Second thing, overt racism. And this is one thing I noticed in the video that you sent me the other day, which kind of generated this discussion. Overt racism. I think that if you ask more black people today about the racism that they've experienced compared to the racism that their parents or grandparents experienced, they'll tell you that the racism back in that day was way more overt. I mean, you have to walk around with things that are literally segregated.
You know what's wild? I consider myself blessed because I have not experienced any form of overt racism. Like, I don't think I've really experienced, I'm blessed in the sense that I don't think overtly, maybe if I really wanted to look, I could say, oh, this was racist and maybe this was a little bit racist. But I've never experienced any kind of overt in your face racism, or even subvert to where you can kind of catch on, or maybe I'm just blind to it. But I feel blessed in the city that I was. Now I know it's probably coming, but it is what it is.
The racism monster is coming for him at one point.
It is. Knock on wood.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, for me, definitely, the racism that I face hasn't been super overt. You know what I mean? You notice things, you walk into a department store, and in South Africa, my closest friends are white, and there have been occasions where I've walked into a store with them before, or I've gone somewhere with them, and you'll have like a black security guard, who will basically be watching me, following me, but won't be doing the same thing to my friends. And I've also experienced that here in the U.S. I've experienced it here in Los Angeles, and I've experienced it in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
So I've experienced it on both coasts. And it's like, you notice this stuff, because you'll turn and you'll see that this person's like following you through the aisles, and every now and again they'll turn and look at you, and then maybe you'll catch them, and then they quickly turn around type shit, you know what I mean? And then obviously just growing up, I was one of like only maybe 8-9 black people in a year of 120 school kids. The rest of the school kids were predominantly white. In terms of Indians, and I mean like actual from India Indians, they were probably like maybe 6 or 7. So so ultimately, in terms of people of color, you've got like maybe 15, 16 people of color in a year of 120 students. So I mean, when I was younger, the racism, like people would say like racist words and stuff, or make like stupid jokes about black people, things that they'd maybe overheard from their cousin or from their father, whoever, you know what I mean? And obviously I knew that being it was South Africa, a lot of these kids had parents who grew up with certain views, had certain tendencies, and so I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense to me. As I got older, a lot of those kids came to realize that what they were doing was wrong, and I think it's also because of the generation that we grow up in. So I haven't experienced that kind of stuff straight up since I was very young, to be honest with you. But I do think that we have it much easier, especially because the older generation knew what they were fighting for. They knew what they were fighting for. There was a strict system of laws that were literally just right in place and were just fucking up people's lives. And people knew exactly what it was that they wanted, right? When it comes to us, I feel like we've attained that freedom to a certain extent, and we don't know what to do with it.
Okay.
That's what I think. That's personally what I think. And because we don't know what to do with it, you have this massive divide amongst the black people over how to proceed and what to do and this, that, the centrist black people and the left-wing black people and the conservative young black people. It's a very precarious position for us to be in, where it's like, okay, cool. So now we've fought to roll these laws back. But now what? We have all these issues in our community, and it seems to me like we don't want to really deal with them head on. We're okay with finding outlets and other things to kind of take our time up and not actually deal with pressing substantive issues within the community. That's what I think. And I feel like also because of integration and stuff like that, we're way more separated than we were before. And this is just a fact, because before we had our own buses and we had this, that, like, as and obviously it was bad in terms of segregation, but there was still a black nucleus. Let me put it that way. There was a black nucleus. I don't think that exists that much anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's so much a bad thing, but I do think that if we have a vested interest in ensuring financial freedom for ourselves and ensuring that the country now works on this country, like the United States, as well as other countries with black people, if we have a vested interest in ensuring that those countries work in our favor, then a black nucleus is probably something that we're going to need to have.
Right.
But I'm interested to hear what you have to say, Jay.
First and foremost, I do believe past generations had it way harder than we have it.
Yeah.
I want to say that first and foremost.
Let's just get that out the way. Hell yeah, dude, facts.
I want to get that out the way. Like, you literally go outside and see somebody hanged and lynched.
Dude.
And it'd be good. It'd be just a regular day.
Okay. You can't do anything. You have to walk past and just go on about your business.
Or you literally get stoned and pissed on and spit at and dog sicked on you by the fucking same people that whatever, right? And then you can't fight back. You can't do anything. The moment you try to do something, you go to jail.
Dude.
Like, it really was that. And public lynchings, while we say it now like we say, oh, this is a public lynching. No, there was actually lynching.
No, really, it was.
And so
kids would go and smile and see these guys hanging from trees. Like,
right. So, yeah. But I do think this, right? On the other side of that argument, I do feel like this. Now that we have so much of this knowledge and so much of this freedom and power, right? I do feel like it's not harder, but it's more stressing now to be in this. No, I take that back. I don't know how to phrase this without being misconstrued. Because there's nothing worse than having to worry about going outside and then somebody fucking literally hanging you.
Yeah. Fuck.
But yeah, I just feel like in this time, with everything that's going on, like let's just look at it like financially, right? The whole time, through your whole life, you were told just go to school, get all this stuff, and you're gonna be better off in life. Where here I am, went to school, did everything right, stayed away from all the bad things, at least some of them.
You stayed away from the girls, from the drugs, all that.
Some of them.
So,
Mama, I swear I've not done anything harder than damn, what? I've not done anything worse than wax. I've not done anything worse than wax.
I promise you, Mama Combs, he is a well-disciplined man.
She'll slap the shit out of you for calling her Mama Combs. Who the fuck is Mama Combs? But no, I do. But no, I. So here's the thing, right? I do feel like it's harder in this sense that it's hard to live. It's hard to actually, now that we have all these freedoms and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's harder to act on those freedoms and stuff now because it's literally nothing for us right now. I feel like we're in a space right now where you told your whole life, all right, Drew, go to school, follow your dreams, follow your passions, and then when you get out of school, you go and you follow your passions and all that. This is where it's harder now, right? In the old days, you have your family, you settle down, you get you a nice house and get you a nice car.
Yeah.
Well, today, you go to school, and you do that without going to school, right? Today, you go to school, you get all this debt, you get out of school, and then you look around and it's like, well, now fucking what?
Now what?
And it's nothing for you. Like, bro, I put it like this. I have 2.5 degrees. And I say half because I have a minor, but I'm legit like 4 credits away from having an actual my sociology degree. I'm like 4 or 8. I'm like 4 to 8 credits away from it being an actual bachelor.
Ladies and gentlemen, black excellence right here.
But you do this right, and then you get out of school and you look around. It's like, well, shit. Now what the fuck I do? And you go and you apply to all these jobs, and you think you have all this knowledge, right? But you go and you do all this shit. You go and you amass all this debt, and now it's nowhere for you to go actually live and actually to, pay off this shit.
No, facts. You're right. The times are definitely different, and we have to factor in financial constraints. We have to factor in what we were talking about last week with like the whole Kevin Samuels thing, relationships between black men and black women.
Right.
Back in the day, the relationships between black men and black women are not how they are now.
No, and it really is like one of these things I would like. It's sometimes like, I don't know. I would love to have our next guest has to be a woman because I want to have this discussion.
Oh hell yeah!
Because I really do feel like now, you have this thing where it's like I don't want somebody that's just struggling right now. And for me personally, I don't want to be in a relationship right now when I'm struggling. Like, bro, I'm the most educated. I feel like sometimes I'm the most educated broke nigga out here. Like, bruh, like, you don't know what it's like when you go to a fucking job. It's like, God damn, all this school and this, what the fuck I'm doing?
All those years of studying, staying up, taking all
to
that
be
Ritalin
right here
and Concerta just for me to be flipping burgers.
I'm not damn Ritalin. I ain't flipping no damn burgers. I don't give a fuck. I'm not flipping no goddamn burgers.
Oh man.
But no, you look, and I say this is why I say this is harder. This is what's harder. I feel like the stress of just living day to day now is harder because it's now, okay, yeah, now it's like, it's a more of a classism thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a racism thing. Like you still now, I feel okay. Put it like this: on top of the subvert racism that you got to deal with,
Oh yeah, the overt race.
subvert.
Oh, you mean like the covert
Covert,
racism? Yeah.
So on top of that, you also have to deal with the classism now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're really in a time now where I feel like it's not even about race. Why they say they try I feel like now it's just playing it up as race.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
think
more
so
of a
too.
it's really, when you look at it, our problems now are a classism thing.
And a prime example of that is with police brutality, because now you're seeing, like, there was a white kid like 2-3 days ago who was killed by police.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a traffic stop. They told him to stop over, and then he got out his car. He had a jug of antifreeze. He was gonna put it under the wheel of his car, of his bike. I think it was a bike or car, because the car has a problem. It rolls when it's parked, and he had this antifreeze very clearly, and they still killed him.
Right.
Which to me says, and it was a poor white kid from a poorer community,
Right.
which says something that it's not race. It's not necessarily about race. It actually
I
really
think,
is about class.
don't get me wrong. There is still racism out there, but I feel like this, right? And this is something I've been thinking about. And I feel like if I say this, some people are probably like, "Oh, this nigga is cooning and buffooning." I feel like this, right? I feel like I'm trying to choose my words wisely. I feel this. I feel like how am I gonna say this?
We're not coons. I promise you that.
I swear. I feel like this. I feel like people are tricking us to believe it's racism, and it's not like put it like this. I know I've grown up around so many white people that faces all the same problems, and I feel like now it's all a charade now to say, oh, play against each other, play against each other, play against each other. It's racism. It's racism. It's racism. When in reality, you don't see the same thing happening to rich people.
You don't.
You don't see rich people. You see rich people only say, "Oh, stand up for these." It's not racism. It's not hate. It's not all. It's all these groups, right? But you only see rich people come out to say, "Yeah, it's that. Why is that?" And I feel like there is hate still out there in the world, but I feel like that hate is only being played upon and only being manipulated. It used to be to manipulate us as just lower class people.
Yeah.
And they tell you, oh, hate this group, hate that group, hate. Oh, it's racism, homophobia, transphobia. It's all this. And don't get me wrong, it is that. That's there. That's
definitely a part of
that's
it.
there.
But it's not the entirety of it.
But it's also this. Keep you distracted so you don't see what's really going on. You don't see all these wealthy people going through all this shit.
That's facts, dude. I feel like people.
And then what they do is they make this they make this culture of Instagram. Oh, live the best life, live the fancy high life. All through your life, high life. Go chase that brass ring. Go chase that crown.
If you 25 and you ain't making $200K a year,
what the fuck are you doing with
broke
your life?
nigga? What are you doing? You
Right.
can't get none of this.
Right. You built that culture. Right?
Every black person needs to be an
It ain't
entrepreneur.
even about black. It's not even about black. It's this is why I say I don't think it's race anymore. You see white people doing the same, going through the same shit. You see white people going through the same shit in a sense of, okay, they don't have the racist part. They don't have the racism part, right? They don't have. But think about this. I would love to see a rich person, somebody who I would love to see what happens when somebody who isn't on the lower end of the social economic pole. I would love to see them get hate upon or police brutality or something like that.
That's not gonna happen. You're never gonna see, I don't know, somebody like a Bill Gates, even if he does something.
Not even a Bill Gates.
You know?
Put it like this. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me fucking wrong. I know it fucking happens, and I know fucking racism exists on all levels, and I know hate all levels.
All across the spectrum. We know that.
I know that.
Yeah.
But there's levels to this shit.
100% there's levels, dude.
There's levels to this shit. There's levels to, my platform. Like Chris Rock has this thing, or it wasn't Chris Rock, it was Dave Chappelle. He was talking about, oh yeah, I got stopped by the police one time, but they were like, oh, you're Dave Chappelle. Keep on going.
Yeah. And I believe him if he says that. I don't even think he's joking.
And so,
I believe that genuinely happened, yeah.
And so here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. I feel like the racism, the homophobia, all that, they're there, but they're just, I feel like it's being tuned up more than it really is.
I think so too. And I think they're just distracting people in large part with a lot of it. And they're preventing us from actually dealing with substantive
what's
issues
really going on.
You know what I mean?
And then don't get me wrong, it's there. I can't fucking say this enough. It's fucking there.
You know what I mean?
It really is. It's there. That hate is there, and it's never going away because that's what America was built on. But also realize, how did they build that hate? How did they make racist white people racist? Right? What did they tell them? Poor white people. What did they tell them? They told them, at least you're not a nigga.
Facts. There's a famous LBJ quote where he says something about, if you can convince the poorest white man that his enemy is actually the black man, you can do something.
It wasn't even a quote. It was legit planned that way. That they was like poor people, and after slavery during Reconstruction, they literally went in. I forgot what it was, but they literally went in and they said, "Oh, it's okay." And that's why the white privilege thing came out, right? It's like, you're white, at least you're not a nigga. You're better than a nigga.
No, facts.
But you're still broke. You can't come in our parties, but you're still white. And that white is currency that you have more than black people or this people or whatever.
It was about telling people, listen, you're above this person. It was never about, because you don't want people to unite. That's why somebody like Fred Hampton was dangerous, because he was trying to get whites, Latinos, black people, middle class and poor people to unite, because he recognized the thing that links us all is class.
Right. And so, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm trying to reinforce this. Yes, racism, homophobia, all that misogyny, it all exists. But please understand that it all exists only to keep us fighting among ourselves.
Exactly.
And so that's why I say now, that's being our only argument for it being harder now, because now it's also amplified because the wage gap and then the chances of opportunity of just even living and surviving. Like I'm seeing on TikTok now, it's a trend where people are going to live in. They're literally legit pimping out their cars to live in.
I believe it.
No, it's a trend now that people are like doing their cars and they like living in their cars. And this is becoming a trend, but that says something about how fucking broke the fucking richest country in the world, and now it's a trend to fucking live in your car.
Young people can't even afford to rent or buy the apartments or homes that older generations used to be able.
Right.
That's the simple truth, dude. And it's an assault on class, and because the rich are still getting richer.
And the wage gap is so far, it's getting so far that, put it like this, I work right now, my primary job where I make my primary income is a security guard. There's times when just to do that, I have to also fucking do Uber Eats on the fucking side every fucking day just to be like, all right, cool, I'm good for this month. That's fucking said something. And that's crazy, me. Yeah. That's me with 2.5 degrees. Imagine somebody with less, with kids.
You know?
And then they be like, you they want to shame you for saying, oh, I need help, and then please give me welfare and all that. They shame you for that. And don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of that too, because I'm guilty of looking down on people and even feeling like if I had to get welfare, I don't want to get welfare or anything like that. I'm guilty of that. But it was always an uncool thing. Like, but think about that. The fact that people legit have to go and you do everything you can in life to not be that, and yet you're still there.
And that's a lot of people's situation, especially post-pandemic. Not even post-pandemic, because we're still technically in it. Right. It's literally a lot of people's situation.
And the pandemic amplified it, though. It made it worse.
Yeah.
It made, because people would realize, I'm only this close to being
being over the edge, bro. Like,
and then you throw in something where you can't go to work. And then now you got this whole thing where jobs getting mad at workers. Someone saying, "Oh, they don't want to work. They don't want to work." No, they don't want to come back to your fucking job when they was making more and being paid more to fucking sit at home. They don't want to come to your job and barely make ends meet every fucking day when they can just sit at home.
Exactly. And they don't get that, dude. Like,
I can't pay you more. Well, why you can't pay us more?
Yeah.
And I get it. I get this. And don't get me wrong. And this gets me into another thing, right? Another tangent. Raising the minimum wage is not going to solve all problems.
It's not.
Yes, people do need a livable wage, but a minimum wage should be based on the economic structure or the cost of living of said place of where they stay. Raising the minimum wage is just throwing money in it. You need actual foundational things to say. Rent, landlords, you cannot fucking raise your fucking rent every fucking week, every fucking month.
You cannot raise for a 2-bedroom.
You can't
one
go.
bathroom, 2 bathroom.
You
that
can't
is
go.
this size. You cannot go above this. I
Right.
fully agree with you because, like you're saying, it doesn't matter. And some people are saying, well, the minimum wage shouldn't even be 15; it should be 20 to 25. Which, keeping up with inflation over the years, makes sense, but it's not going to solve the problem because
Right.
things are still going to get more
Right.
expensive anyway. Dude.
Right,
You just
exactly.
keep-
And that's what people don't get. It's like, oh, you raise, people need this money. And yeah, I get it. People do need a livable wage, but it's not raising it to 15 because that's only going to make everything else. And you got to maintain the you got to maintain the weight of the currency. Regardless of if you throw more money at people, you're going to fucking deflate the value of the currency. That's just basic economics that people don't get. It's like, oh, give us more money. Well, if you give more money out, if I give you more something, what does happen? If I make something more, what happens to things that goes up in production? They become less. The more, but like I said, there needs to be laws, statutes, and placeholders to say you can't fucking raise rent on people. You can't fucking raise
health insurance premiums
insurance.
that need to be between a certain
No, you can't. Fuck that. Health insurance. Everybody, I feel like, should be able to have access to health insurance.
So you agree with like a Medicare for all type thing?
Yeah. I feel like cool.
Universal healthcare coverage.
Yeah, if you want private healthcare, cool, go for it.
Go
Get
for
your
it.
Get your private. But I feel like everybody should have access to healthcare. But I also feel like necessity goods should not be cost of bread and shit like that. It goes up every other week just based on inflation.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Like I get it. We're more people, more things, and then I get that. But you have to have these little things to where you can't fucking just say, I'm going to charge people whatever I want to fucking charge them. And I do believe in a free market economy where you can compete. But that does not mean just because I can compete, I'm going to fucking overtax the people. And that's really what people don't understand. It's like, until we understand it at a financial, just a basic level, the more you overtax the people, the worse and the harder it is going to make them for them people. And the harder you make it for your workers, the harder it is to actually get production from those workers.
Yeah, true.
And that's just really what it is. And people, and I get it. I get it. Rich people don't want to give more money and give up their stuff. I get that. Business owners, they want to cut costs. I get that. But at the same time, you got to take care of your fucking people. And that's what it is. You have to take care of your fucking people. But yeah. And so, honestly, like I said, is it harder? I won't say that it's harder for black people than it was in previous generations. But I would say this. Across the board, it's damn sure not easier. And that's whether you black, white, Latino, I don't care what it is. It's damn sure not easier. Some people getting more handouts than others? Yeah. But it's, like I said, it's not hard. It's not that it's harder now, but it is sure not easier.
No, definitely.
And it's definitely stress inducing when you have, and now what's even worse is they say knowledge is power. Yes, knowledge is power, but also with knowledge comes knowing. It comes a pessimistic side of that whole, damn, now you know how fucked up you are.
Yeah.
And
you know
that
how
comes,
things
that's
work. You know how government and structure works.
Right, and there's a stress level that comes with that.
And that's a whole nother conversation, yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Damn.
I don't feel like it's harder, but it's like I said, it's not easier. It's not easier either. So yeah. All right. That's my tangent. Let's go ahead and get out of here, M. So you know how we like to get out of here.
You know.
Come on. Artist of the week. Artist of the week goes to creators, music artists, anybody who's out there working their ass off and trying to make something of their life with art.
Exactly.
Your art can be anything you want it to be. I don't care if you're going outside painting walls and shit.
You could be a sculptor, a potter, like pottery.
Potting.
You know?
I don't care what the fuck you do, right? Your art, your work, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit, and I know you are too.
Yeah.
And so what we like to do here, we like to give those shout outs and give those people their props. And so the artist of the week is a filmmaker and actor who's having an amazing film run right now in like all these film festivals. And he's a really dope actor, producer, director. And he goes by the name of Carlos Martin. If y'all don't know Carlos Martin, please go definitely check him out on Instagram.
Please
right
do that.
Here. And King Jacqueline Martin or something like that. I don't know. It's right here if I fucked it up. But yeah, please, if you see this, don't come at me, bro. But I definitely want to give my guy a shout out. His film, A War on Friendly Grounds, is doing amazing at film festivals right now. Every time I get on Instagram or Facebook, I'm seeing another post about how it's getting accepted into this film festival, how it's won this award. And he's all around just amazing guy. Like, I remember one of the first projects that I worked on here when I came to LA. He was he helped me out. He really like brought me to the side. He was like, "Hey man, I really want you to go in this scene." And like, I don't know, man, it was weird, like how he, like what we talked about in here, like, man, he really bigged me up. And then so it was like a really emotional scene or a really intense scene rather, and he really like helped me get to that point. And it was the first time that I really like just like, damn, realized how to get in that acting bag. And if you out there, man, bruh, I need to fucking work with you again, bro. It was amazing.
Shout out to you, sir.
But yeah, if you haven't checked out his work, definitely go check him out. He's definitely a dope artist. He's definitely a dope director. He's definitely a dope actor. He's been on he's what's the fucking thing with The Rock? It's like the Entourage, but it's like football players.
Oh, Billion. No,
Ballers.
Ballers.
Yeah, he's been on Ballers.
Ballers.
He's been working, and yeah, man, he's really dope. Definitely go check him out. King Jacqueline Martin.
Please do that, y'all.
King Jaquan Martin.
You know, we out here trying to support everybody. You know how this industry is, and especially if somebody's having a good run in the film festivals, with their work, that's always a good sign, and you should definitely be supporting that work. So please, we really implore you to go check them out.
All right. And with that, episode 6, Culture Clowns. We out.
We out.
Boom.